Guys, how we doing? I'm Ryan Mack. Welcome back to Trading, guys. So today, I'm obviously going to be covering my fundamental review. We will be covering some of the technical analysis. We've already taken these trades. I've taken them on like 5 different accounts. We'll cover that. We'll cover fundamentals. What I'm going to do differently this time is I'm going to cover some data. I don't always cover this in my videos. Wait till I move that out of the way. I don't always cover Prime Market Terminal, right? But it is a fantastic piece of kit. And move this. I don't know why that's happening. What the fuck is going on here? Okay, is that it changed? Ah, thank God. I don't know what happened there, guys. I already made a 15-minute video and my screen wouldn't move and I was just like, for fuck's sake, and I had to delete it. So, yeah, I thought that happened again. So this is a fantastic bit of kit, right? It's called Prime Market Terminal. I use it loads for data. It's got loads of trading ideas here. If you come across here, look, Smart Bias Tracker, you just click expand. It tells you right away, when I'll make this a little bit smaller, it tells you right away which currencies are, you know, if they're weak bearish, neutral, weak bullish, neutral, weak bullish, weak bullish, weak bullish, weak bearish, right? It's fantastic. Now, of course, it's always better if you can learn fundamentals and you can work out this by yourself. The example that I will give, right? Excuse me. The example that I'm going to give, it's always better if you can do it by yourself, first of all, by using data and understanding the data, right? The example I'll use is that when I was in the army, of course, in the army, you're thinking, you're doing map reading lessons, right? And you've got to navigate across the mountains and through the woods and all this, just using a map and a compass. And I remember being a young recruit and I'm thinking to myself, why the fuck are we using a map and compass? Like, this is a technological age, you know, like we've got GPS, we should be using GPS and going in. But the fact is, when you're in the army, you get to use GPS and all this Gucci equipment. But it's essential before you start using that stuff that you understand how to navigate using a map and compass, and you know what you can see in front of you using the stars, map, compass, and so on and so forth, and you know the contours of the land. Because if you learn by using GPS, you know how to navigate. If one day you're out and your GPS fucking breaks, then and you don't know how to use a map and compass, you're fucked, right? So it's similar to this. If you rely on platforms like this, which are fantastic, but if you rely on them to be like, okay, I'm going to quickly check bearish, neutral, bullish, okay, boom, I know what I'm doing, that's absolutely fine. But what happens one week if this platform is shut down for refurbishment, you know? Or the company decide to close the platform, and then you wake up one day and you're like, oh, fuck, how am I supposed to know what I'm looking for? Which is bullish, which is bearish, which is why it's important to really learn, you know, fundamentals. Don't skip the process. Don't be lazy. Learn fundamentals. This is just a great tool which helps you, okay? It's fucking phenomenal. You can come across here. Up here, look, it tells you risk, market sentiment. So you'll always hear me go on about market sentiment, right? Is it risk on, risk off, or neutral? Right now, it's telling you it's neutral. We've got seasonality here for ADCHF. If you come down here, DMX, which is Dumb Money Index, which is retail traders. Retail traders, I'm going to sneeze, sorry. Retail traders are pretty much all in sales, right? Now, retail traders are pretty much always wrong. They are retarded. Not only are they retarded, retail traders are also the liquidity for institutions, right? So they're always wrong. They always get trapped by, you know, market pullbacks and then market hitting a new high, and they'll think, traders will always think, oh, I'm gonna sell from the all-time high and I'm gonna catch this big massive dip, and then it'll come back slightly and it'll just keep going, and they'll be like, well, why does it keep going? Well, it keeps going because they don't know how to understand fundamentals. If the data is strong in AUD and it's not strong in CHF and market sentiment is not risk off, then it's gonna fly. It's as simple as that, but they don't understand it. If we come across here, it says COT, which stands for Commitment of Traders, right? That's essentially all the big banks, all the big institutions, all the big hedge funds, all the big players, right? Now, by law, every single, I think it's Tuesday or a Wednesday, right? But by law, every single week on a Tuesday or Wednesday, they must submit the trades that they are in. It's to try and prevent things like insider trading and blah, blah, blah. Now, the trades that get submitted by all these large institutions get verified. Once they're verified, it gets put out to the public. When you see that data in its raw format, it's really, really confusing. You'd be like, what the fuck is this? It's all, digits, and you're like, my brain is fried. So what platforms like this do is, they take all of that data, they combine it, and they put it into a visual, extremely simple format that you can just look and say, oh, retail traders are in sales, right? When you come across here at COT, you want to really see the opposite. Look, all the institutions are pretty much in buys, right? Institutions are buying. Retail traders like you and I are selling. Which of these two groups has enough money to move the market? Is it retail traders or is it the institutions? It is, of course, the institutions. To make the market move by one single pip is $100 million. If every single retail trader on the entire planet had a large enough account where their stop loss could be $2 million, we do not have enough money to move the market, even if we place the same trade at the same time around the world. We just don't have it, right? So it's the institutions. You want to be in line with them, so you get in buys, and you want to be going against the retailers, okay? So that's another good confirmation. If you come across here to Macro AI, it gives you a rundown. Look. And if you want to ask it questions, you can ask it questions. Not only does it give you an answer, it gives you the sources used when you click on it, right? It's a fucking great piece of kit. It's outstanding. Swing trading, let's come across here. You can choose all your different ones. It's a fucking great tool. Currency strengths, you just click on it to expand it. Oh, no events. They're still updating this just now. That's probably why one or two of them are off, because they are currently upgrading and updating it all. I've just got instant access because one of my friends owns it. Now, another thing which I'm going to cover right now, we're going to move on because we don't have to spend too much more time on this. Like I said, this platform is not essential. However, does it make your life easy? Absolutely. It gives you tons of great knowledge and data for trading. And look, it even has, look, this is instead of Forex Factory, it's already got all of the news here. Okay, so you don't need to keep jumping between Forex Factory. All the data comes up here in the news. Okay, what I'm going to cover right now, pardon me, instead of going on to fundamentals right away or technical analysis, pardon me, I'm going to run through journaling. Now, I have two sets of journals, right? I have a written format, which is right beside my desk, and then I have this format on my Google Drive, okay, Google Drive spreadsheets. The reason why I do this is because I like to write stuff down right away. This one doesn't include this here, where you see it says notes on trade. I don't have notes on here because there's not really enough space to be writing. If I started writing notes like this, it's gonna, I can't do that for all the trades, so there's no point, right? But what I write on here is, I write the pair. So I'm going to show you this. I write the pair, gold, AUD, CHF. I write if it's a buy or a sell. I write here, seen or took. Now, what's the difference? Took means I physically took the trade, right? I have physically taken the trade. Seen is when, let's say I marked this up. Let's say I had marked this up, right? Small candle, large engulfing, market comes back. Let's say I'd marked this up for my entry, and I came back and I never entered it, and now I'm looking and the market's flew. It's like, fuck. So I never took the trade, but I seen the trade. It's one that I've called it, right? Right, if it hits here, it's going to go. And then I would write seen there, which means I didn't take the trade, but I've seen it. And that's important as well to make note of, because then you can look back at all the ones that you've seen and be like, oh my God, like, I may have had 8 winning trades here, 3 losing trades, but the other 7 trades that I simply saw, but I didn't take them, they all came in. Like, fucking hell, if I managed to catch them. And it's really good information for you to understand with your, how good your strategy is. Risk 2%, 2%, 2%. Gain 1%, 3%, 2%. Type of loss beside that if it was a losing trade. Type of trade: scalp, swing, swing, swing. Held for 3 hours, 7 days, 6 days, and this one's currently running, so I haven't filled out the end of these. Duration ran 3 hours, and this one's still running, so I'm gonna make notes of this. Those two on AUDCHF. I'll cover that later, actually. I'll cover it after the trading journal. So here we come across the trading journal. I've got it here, trading journal 2026. I've got January 26, just means the year, it's not the day. And I only took a gold scalp. It was right in the beginning. It was a sell. Stop loss hit? No. Take profit hit? Yes. Did I close early? No. Now, the reason why you're like, oh, why have you got them? If I hit take profit hit, yes, that means where I've, when I'm marking up my charts before the market's, moved, I'll have my take profit area, right, along with my stop loss area. So was the stop loss hit? No. Was my take profit hit? Yes. Now, if I close the trade early and I make this yes, it basically means, let's say I had my stop loss up here, right? And as we can see, the market hit my stop loss, okay? In theory, in this example, okay? But what if I close the trade here? Right? It still ran, so it hit my stop loss. Yes. Did I close it early? Yes. So you can see by marking this up and writing closed early, if that was a yes, constantly noting that, you can go back and read your notes and be like, you can notice a bad habit within yourself, and you can be like, fucking hell, I keep closing trades too early and I keep leaving tons of money on the table. And you'll notice that it's a bad habit in yourself. If you keep, if it keeps saying hit take profit, yes, closed early, yes, then that means you're closing your trades too early. You're probably trading based on emotion, like, oh fuck, it's going to pull back on me, it's going to pull back on me. And it gives you a little pullback, you shit your pants, you close the trade, and it's only at one pullback, and then it runs. And you're like, for fuck's sake, why did I do that? Well, that's because you're trading emotionally and you're not trading based on logic, right? Type of trade, scalp trade, number of days, 30 minutes, risk 2%, profit 1%. Okay, so I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of risking more than I make. However, I just took what the market gave me. If it's going to pull back on me, I instantly cut it. You don't want to be like, well, I'm just going to let if it's a scalp, yeah, not a swing trade. If it's a scalp, you don't want to let them pull back because they can very quickly put you back into drawdown. You want to take your money and run, okay? And then I put the notes here. Not going to spend too much time in these notes because it's a scalp and it's boring and you don't learn much from it. I also mark it green if it's a win, and then if it's a loss later, I'll mark it red. So it's visually easy to see which ones are my wins and which ones are my losses, right? If we look across here, this is February 2026. AUDCHF, it was a buy. What's that? Did it hit my stop loss? No. Did it hit my take profit? Yes. Did I close it early? No. Type of trade, swing. Number of days, 7 days. Risk, 2%. Gain, 3% and 2%. Okay? And then I write my notes here at the side. So, I took this trade on the H4 area, which was a decent area, and I'm going to show you that in a second, okay? Which was a decent area for entry. However, I advised the guys in the group, it could very well pull back, sorry for the typo, it could very well pull back a little deeper, which it did. Our stops were well below the previous daily low time frame, giving it room to breathe. Now, with swing trading, you have to change your mindset slightly, because in swing trading, your trades are going to go up, they're going to come all the way back down, and you're like, oh, why didn't I close? But then if you close them early on a swing trade, because you're not thinking what's going to happen this next couple of days, you're thinking, where is this market going to be 4 weeks from now, right? And markets don't just go like that for 4 weeks. They go up, they come back, they go up higher, they come back, they go up higher. Higher highs, higher lows, right? So you need that mindset. This, excuse me, this trade went into profit and back into drawdown 3 times before finally taking off. As it pulled back down to the daily area, we added to the position, which was the right thing to do. This trade went to 2,400 profit I held in order to allow it to breathe and then run further. It came back and hit my stop loss, which I had already set to in profit. Okay, so I gave it a lot of room to breathe, but I moved my stop loss because you don't want to go back to zero, right, when you're at such a high profit. It hit my stop loss at 1,100 profit, which is fine. If we never, sorry, I got another typo, my bad. If we never allow trades to pull back and run, we'll never catch the big runners, okay, which is true. Emotionally, another important point to note, emotionally, I was extremely calm the whole time and completely removed the idea of money out of my mind and simply traded based on pure logic. Zero greed, zero emotion, zero thoughts on how much money I could make. I simply traded based on the market hitting my areas of value in line with fundamental data, and I pulled the trigger the minute my trade hit the zones. Zero hesitation. This is pretty much the same, so we'll come down here. The key takeaways. Immediately take the trade. Excuse me, I'll fix these typos later, I was just in a rush typing. Key takeaways from this. Immediately take the trade with zero hesitation once it hits my zones, okay? So once it hits my zones here, you enter that fucking trade with zero hesitation. Don't think, well, I want to see a candle next, because instead of you getting in here, you're going to fucking get in here, right? And you're like, nah. What happens when you enter up here? Yes, it feels like a safer trade because you have better confirmation. However, your stop loss is fucking miles away, which means your lot size is much smaller, right? So you've got a much smaller lot size, your stop loss is miles away, and you need to keep your stop loss there for quite a long time, before you can move up. Because if you move up too soon, it's going to come back, stop you out and go. If you enter immediately, like small candle, large engulfing, breaks, retests and goes. If you enter immediately upon it hitting these areas, which you can see, I've already closed 80% of this trade here. I've left 20% as a runner. See this green line here? Look, I immediately entered. Bang. If you look on the H4, look at that. Look on the H4. As soon as I seen it, I would have entered earlier. I'd have entered down here, to be honest. But look, small candle, large engulfing, breaks away. Boom. Hang me that zone. And away it goes. You can see I entered immediately. And what you can do is the minute the market moves away, you can move your stop loss to break even. So it's a risk-free trade right away, okay? Whereas if you do this, you can't. Yeah. Enter the market, take the trade right away with zero hesitation in my zones. This allows for me to get in at a great price, but it also allows me to move my stops far earlier and therefore protecting my account. By delaying my entry, waiting for more confirmation, it may feel safer. However, the price is not as good, and I need to leave my stops at risk for longer, which I've just explained to you, okay, for retracements and so on. So I'm in it right now. I'm in this one here right now. I will update it. It's just that it's still currently running, okay? So I'm in this trade in like 5. Let me just check what's this. Name. Okay. Server. Right, that's fine. I'm in it in this. I'm in it in all my accounts basically. I've closed 8 because I entered the trade on a Friday. What I've did is I have closed 80% and I've left 20% as a runner. Okay, and I really do anticipate holding this all the way up. All right, I'm not. I'm going to hold this for quite a long time. Let's move back. Okay, so that's us on this. Now we're going to move across to fundamentals, okay? On trading journals, I always highly recommend it, guys. You will exponentially advance your trading confidence by making fucking notes. I'm telling you, it's something that we're all guilty of avoiding. Some weeks I go by and I'm like, shit, I've got 2 trades from last week to write up and I still haven't done them. And it's one of those things where if you just ignore it, you procrastinate, it keeps building up. And the longer you procrastinate, the longer you're like, oh my God, now I've got 6 trades I need to remember and write up. No, just do them as they come out, okay? And that's the way that I've kind of started this year to go on. I do them the minute they come out, okay? To get it over and done with. You will learn so much about your trading, what is going right, what is going wrong, like I explained by closing trades early and so on. And write down things like, how you felt emotionally when you were in the trade. If you're like, oh my God, I had pure anxiety for like 2 days, I was just worried. I was trying to practice swing trades and letting it run, but every time it went into profit and came back into drawdown, I kept panicking and getting anxiety. Well, that probably that tells you something right there. That probably tells you that you're risking too much money of your account, right, for the level that you're at psychologically and emotionally at this present time. Just drop your risk to a point where you're like, I could leave this for a month, and you should be able to wake up the next day and forget that you've got a trade on. That happens to me so often. I wake up and I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh fuck, I've got AUD CHF running, and then I go to check it. I completely forget because my risk is at a level where if it hits my stop loss, I don't give a shit. So I don't have any anxiety, I don't have any worries, okay? And it really, I'm telling you, if you can consciously get yourself to that stage, you will massively improve your trading, I swear to God. So let's have a look. Last week. So now we're going to go into fundamentals, guys. As always, we're going to write on our paper currency strengths: strong, weak, and neutral. Okay, strong, weak, and neutral. I'm going to fly through this again. I'm not going to spend too much time because I want to keep this video below 40 minutes. I'm just going to delete all this. So as you know, I do AUD, China, and New Zealand, okay? Although we don't trade the Chinese currency, we need to know the data, because if China is doing well, it gives strength to AUD, right? Now, as you've seen last week here, I'm going to jump down here first of all. Pardon me. Aussie increased their rates. Now, this is not the only rate hike that you're going to see in Aussie, okay? Round about May-ish, you will see another rate hike. I am telling you, you will see them raise rates again. And anyone who took that housing scheme plan, last year, thinking, oh my God, I got such a great deal, you're going to be fucked. Because you're going to be paying way over the odds, and it's a bad idea. But they did raise rates. It was expected, it was anticipated, so it doesn't create a shock to the market. It just continues to give it strength. I'm going to fly through this, guys. I won't explain too much. Bullish, 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 bearish, NZD, AUD, bearish, bullish, bullish, bearish, bearish, bullish, 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 bullish. Okay, so we've got overall bearish for NZD and bullish for AUD in China. Where's my pen? So strong, I'm going to put in AUD. Weak, NZD, because it is still weak. Remember though, I did say if you see some bullishness coming from NZD, but you're saying it's weak but it's flying, yeah, that's because of market sentiment, okay? Please don't forget that. It's not because it's a strong economy, which is what we're marking down now, economy strengths, i.e. currency strengths. It's moving, bullishly because of money flows. Money flowing from risk on assets to risk off safe haven assets, which includes the NZD, CHF, Japanese yen, gold, and silver. Okay? So don't get confused by that. Don't get fooled. This week, what have we got coming up? CPI, we want to see that, especially because it's a year-on-year. That's important. Visitor arrivals. We don't have a lot of news, so yeah, just leave that for now. Pardon me. Let's have a look. Okay, CAD. Moving on. I already know it's weak, and we don't even have to look at it. We will look at it, but I'm already putting it in weak, right? Because it's dog shit. Bullish, bearish. It's better than thought. You could say bullish and bullish, okay? But overall, it's shit. This is just a couple of little good numbers. Overall, it is wank, okay? What have we got next week? And remember, Canadian dollar is pegged to oil. So oil, you'll see kind of coming up, but it's not bullish, guys. It's coming up just now. Why? Because Trump has just done the whole Venezuela thing, right? And at some point, he will flood the fucking markets with Venezuelan oil. What will that do? That will make the price cheap as fuck. The price will melt, okay? Continuing on its downtrend. What do they want before the price melts? They want to buy it at good value. What do they need at good value? They need to bring the price up. So if you're a scalp trader or a day trader and you want to buy oil just now, crack on, be my guest. I'm not. I'm a swing trader, so I'm going to let it get to these highs, hit my areas of value, I'm going to enter big on sells, and I'm going to let that fucking melt, okay? That is going to be my battle plan. I'm not entering buys, but that's because I'm a long-term position holder, okay? Well, aim to be if I don't get stopped out. Next week, building permits. Yeah, we don't really have any news, okay? So Canada is weak. CHF, we don't even bother looking at that, and it stays in neutral, so you can just instantly put CHF at neutral. Pardon me, guys, sorry. The reason being, CHF data never changes. It's always very flat and boring. We trade CHF based on risk off, risk on sentiment, all right? If markets are risk on, you want to be selling CHF. If markets are risk off, you want to be buying CHF. It's as simple as that. German retail sales, month on month. Okay, let's have a look. Bullish, bearish, bearish, bullish, bearish, bearish. Bearish, 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 bullish, bullish, bearish, bullish, bullish, bearish, 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 bullish, bullish, bearish, 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 pretty sure, same, bearish, bullish, bearish, okay, quite weak data. So I'm gonna keep Euro in neutral. Okay, now that's a bad week there. I'm gonna keep Euro in neutral. But remember what I said the weeks before? It was always potentially weak bullish. Now I'm gonna keep it in neutral, and we're gonna see what happens. In fact, let's see what, because it could potentially move to weak bearish. Okay, I forgot what Prime Market Terminal's got. Let's have a look. Where am I? Wrong. Sorry, I'm on the wrong bloody tab. My bad. That's not this one. Is it swing trading? Yes, it is. What have we got? Euro. Neutral. There we go. Neutral. It's exactly what I had. So yeah, we're going to keep that neutral. That's fine. Let's have a look at pound. GBP. Sorry, I need to look at last week. Bullish, 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 bearish. Same. And bullish. Yeah, quite strong. Last week I had this in neutral, but like I said to you, I'm keeping it in my mind that it's weak bullish, okay? This week, what have we got? GDP prelim. Potentially get good news coming up this week. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. Excuse me. I'm going to keep this in neutral, okay? But like I said previously, I know in my mind that it's weak bullish, okay? And let's have a look and see what PMT has got them down as. Where's pound? There you go. Weak bullish, okay? So fucking fantastic. And this is the power of understanding, you know, how to work this out by yourself. It is such a superpower. If you done this every single week, right? My recommendation is do this yourself let's say every Saturday or Sunday, right? And then on a Sunday evening or a Monday, then watch my video. Because if you watch my video first, my information is gonna influence what you do. But if you this is how I learn. If you make your own review first of all, and be like, right, I'm going to mark AUD as strong, I'm going to mark this as weak, that is neutral, blah, 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 and then you watch my video, and you're like, fucking hell, I'm bang on, I'm starting to get it right. you're then going to know that, oh my God, I'm actually understanding what Ryan's saying, and I'm now able to do it by myself, right? It takes between 4 and 6 weeks of you consistently doing this, and that's you done. Once you get to that 4 to 6 weeks mark, not 46, 4 to 6, it's all fucking gravy, guys. I'm telling you, and it changes everything for you. Like I say, if you're a scalp trader, who cares? It's not really going to affect you, right? But if you are a day trader, and especially a swing trader, it's definitely going to help you. Japanese yen, bullish, bearish, bullish, bullish, bearish, bullish. Okay, so decent news, but I'm still keeping Japanese yen in weak. Now, I'm keeping it in weak because I'm thinking of the bigger picture, right? Has the economy grown over the last year and stuff? No, it hasn't really changed. Now, I don't even notice what PMT are saying. Maybe they've got it as neutral, right? They might have it as bearish, but they might have it as neutral. So let's have a look. There you go, weak bearish. So we're actually in alignment with that as well, okay? Exactly the same, because I've got it as weak, which means bearish. NZD. Oh, we've done NZD, sorry. That's already weak. USD. Bullish, 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 bearish. Non-farm employment change. Ah, that's bearish. Bullish, bullish. Bearish, bearish, bearish. That's sorry, it's gas. Who cares? Bullish, bullish, bearish, and bullish. So it's pretty mixed data there. I would say USD would kind of be neutral to strong right now. Sorry, my mouth keeps watering. Neutral to strong right now. But we have to remember there's a lot of uncertainty around USD right now because of everything that Trump's doing. We've already had the Venezuela thing. Trump's now gobbing off at Iran. If you do this, we're going to do that, you know, and there's a whole thing with Russia. So even when this is coming in, the currency strength is strong, it's like you don't really want to be buying USD right now. I believe it's going to go super bullish at some point again, but you don't really want to be buying it right now. Me personally, because there's so much uncertainty in the market, right? Let's have a look. What we've got this week. We've got core retail sales, employment cost index, average hourly earnings yet. We've got non-farm. Is this NFP week? Is this? No, it's not. NFP must have been last week. Non-farm unemployment change. Fucking hell. Unemployment claims, yeah. We've got a fair bit of news that we want to see next week, right? So let's see what they do. I'm going to put USD in neutral just now, right? But it could be neutral to strong. Let's have a look at what PMT have got them down at. What is it? Weak bearish. Okay, that's fine. And you see there's multiple bullish and very bearish, bearish, bearish. Okay, and it is risk off. Where is the market sentiment? Did they have it in here? Economic growth. Do they have sentiment here? They should have. No, they've got it somewhere else, I'd imagine. Let's just have a look. Well, that's still the same one. Right, that's fine. Anyway, I've got it in neutral, and they've got it as weak bearish. Okay, so that's fine. So to cover you here, I've got strong AUD, weak NZD, CAD, Japanese yen, neutral CHF, Euro, GBP. However, GBP is neutral, but it's weak bullish. Okay, and neutral USD. All right, so that's strong AUD, weak NZD, CAD, Japanese yen, neutral CHF, Euro, GBP is neutral but weak bullish, and USD is neutral, weak bearish. All right. So now I'm going to very quickly jump across, guys, and show you the trade that we took. So last week, what we did was, I'll just brush this up. We've got this one here. So I had this here marked up, small candle, large engulfing. And when this broke and it came back down, right, and it came here to retest and reject this area, we entered the market here, right? Because it is an okay area to trade from. And it's the top of this small candle, large engulfing. It goes back and it retests this top zone, right? In fact, I'm going to take this away because that is how I explained it to the guys. I said, look, when it comes to this zone here, you never know if the market's going to retest the top of this zone and fly, or pull back down deeper before it goes, right? And you can see here what happened was it gave us the hammer here, and then it continued to go. So we actually entered it here, okay? Our stop loss was below here, which is quite a large stop loss, but of course we're swing trading, okay? So you wanted that big. I wanted the potential that it could come down, retest, and go. It came up, we were in profit, it then went bang, bang, came back down, we were then in drawdown, okay, which is fine. We were in drawdown here, it came back up, we're in profit again, then it came back down, we were in drawdown again. So I think it was 2 or 3 times we ended up jumping between profit and drawdown, okay? When this came into here, I re-entered again here. So I had 2 trades running. When it came up to here, came to around here, I closed the first trade. Why? Because that's the first trade that's going to put me straight back into drawdown if it comes back down, whereas entering down here, I'm miles away from going back into drawdown. So it's risk management, right? Managing the risk, and it was in profit. So I closed the first one, which was the bad price when it got into profit, and I left this one running. Now, when this came up here, I had my stop loss just below here, and it came back down, stopped me out, and then continued to run, which is absolutely fine because I was still stopped out in profit. The minute the market hit in here, and I seen it, I entered right away, as you can see right here. Boom, look, I entered it right away. I've now closed 80% of this trade, so that's a 20% runner. I've done it on all accounts here. Got it on here. I've got it on this one here. I've got it on this one here. I didn't take it on my mate's little account. I didn't take it on this is my mate's tiny account. He just wanted me to smash it for him. But but the point is, look, honestly, small candle, large engulfing. If it goes back up, retest, rejects, you enter the sell. Obviously, candles are above the EMA. AUD is bullish. CHF is bearish or neutral. So we know we're looking for buys. We're either buying it down here, or we're waiting for it to break above, come back down and retest this zone. That's just a liquidity grab coming a little bit further, and then go. Coming back, liquidity grab, higher low, away it goes. That's it, and it's done it again. So we've entered 1, 2, 3 times, right? Yeah, so this here, let me just jump down to the H1. Right here, you've got an order block, right? Right here, these 3 candles, that's an order block right there. And it lines up with this here. So you could match this up. Hey, sorry, hold on. Right, look at that. Boom. So what we're then looking for is bish, bash, bosh, right? And flying. And heading all the way up. That's essentially what we're looking for. Fantastic, right? So my TPs are miles away at like 56. This is like 50. My TPs are like way up here. And that is it. Let's have a quick look at other potential pairs this week. Excuse me. Let me go to the higher time frames, the daily. So this is flying, but we can't enter it because it needs to pull back first. ADCHF, yeah. No, we need a pullback to enter. I'm not going to enter that. There's no value to buy it from here. It could just continue to keep going, but there's no value, so don't enter it. Just walk away from it. Same again, no real value to buy that. Euro AUD sells. It never came back up for the retest. It just melted. It didn't even come back up and retest here. It just melted, so I've missed that one. I always wait for a retest of the zone. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. There's nothing there yet. I mean, you can see it did come back and hit the zone, see? And it went, but it wasn't really good value. However, you can see it still works, right? Euro NZD could, but yeah, I wouldn't be taking a sell here. No way. Fuck that. Eurozone is well better than NZD. There's no value there. GBP AUD is sell, so we are correct, but we just didn't get the pullback. Oh, we did get the pullback, sorry, look. I just never took it. Small candle, large engulfing. I had this mark, comes back up for the retest, and away it goes. I missed that, so at least it's came in. So, this is a prime example of when you write seen instead of took, right? So I'm going to put that in here. Seen, I'm going to mark down GBP AUD. I've seen the sell, and it played out, but I never took it, okay, for whatever reason. I must just have missed it, you know. It's easy to miss trades. Especially when you're someone like me, who I trade everything, right? I know a lot of people go, I just choose 2 pairs. But when you understand fundamentals, you don't need to choose 2 pairs. You can trade every single piece of the market, right? Nah, there's nothing there, nothing there. Nothing that I would really take there value-wise. I wouldn't be taking that. You would never be taking that from here. Look, straight into this zone. Fuck that. That's suicide. Shit, there's nothing there. Nothing there. We need a good pullback first. There's really nothing there. However, look, you can see it's happened again. Look. Small candle, large engulfing. Once it breaks that area, that zone, it comes back, retests it, and goes, right? It happens all the time. Small candle, large engulfing, wait for the retest, boom, and you go. USD CAD, there's nothing really here. USD Japanese yen. There's another example of seen and not taken. So I'm going to put that in my book as seen. Look, I already seen it. I marked it up. Small candle. Sorry, hold on. Okay, now. Small candle, large engulfing, breaks away, comes back, retests that zone, and away it goes, right? Prime example, but I never took it. The reason why I never took it, part of me was based on fundamentals and market sentiment. Fuck me, my mouth's watering like crazy. I'm so hungry. That I chose. Fuck me. I chose to make this video before breakfast to try and get it out, but I'm so hungry, my mouth just won't stop watering. I never took this because USD was very wishy-washy and we were in risk off, okay, which puts money into Japanese yen, as you can see here, and now it's just kind of coming back. But I tend to stay away from USD pairs when there's a lot going on with the USD, okay? You don't have to, that's fine. Gold. Look, never mind all the bullshit about, oh my god, why is gold crashing? And everyone's getting it. Look, these fucking morons just don't understand the market. Look, there it is. Show me where gold has crashed. Where has gold crashed? Right? It's a fucking pullback. Yes, it's given a big move. Yeah, you can't deny that. But that's not my question. Where the fuck has gold crashed? It hasn't crashed. It's just people that don't know what they're talking about fucking flapping. Silver. Where's the silver crash? Yes, it's a huge move. I understand that. It's a massive pullback. There's a reason behind it. I'm not going to get into it. It was JP Morgan that initiated it and manipulated it and so on and so forth because they had large sales and fucking blah, blah, blah. You can Google it. You can read up on it if you like. It's quite long-winded. But look, where's the crash? That is a big move, yes, but the market hasn't crashed. If it was crashed, it would be like this. Boom. You know, that would be a crash. This is just a pullback. It's all perfectly normal. Same with Bitcoin and all that. It's all perfectly normal. Copper. You know what I mean? That's it, guys. That's all I've got for you. I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson. We covered loads of stuff. Yeah. Have a good week. Don't over risk. Don't over trade. If you want mentorship, guys, look, we have full mentorship here in the group. Look at the lads. Look. Here we go. Deposit, withdrawal, profit, 5,200. There's Suresh joined us this week. He rejoined us. He joined us last year and he's rejoined us this week. He's up £5,200. There we go, 5.2k profit and banked the majority of them. So look, he's already withdrew. He already withdrew 5,500. All right, happy fucking days. We've got tons of stuff here. Look, that was me. I actually went in and bought more gold and silver bars. Physical bars. There we go, look. Here's me giving the guys the trade. Look, comes back, small candle, large engulfing, boom, enter it, and away you go. And I believe I already gave the guys it sooner, so let's have a quick look, and I'll just show you. Where are we? There's Alex, up 625 quid. There's Jeff. Look, these are all our guys in the group. All making money, guys. All freaking making money. I'm sure I already put this. Who's this? Anthony, up 1,500 quid. There we go, look. So, for AUD-CHF, if we get this area rejection, that would be lovely. And look, I've drawn it up here. Look, here it is. Small candle, large engulfing, and I've pointed to the arrows where we want the market to come to. Look, before it comes. Then, if we scroll down, you can see we get exactly that. And we take the trade. Happy days. All right. And I also give the signal in here. Here was the initial buys. I'm back in AUD-CHF buys. Enter now. Price. Stop loss. Take profit. Okay. Simple as that, guys. We've got tons upon tons of videos. Look, starting from the beginning, I have done a power of videos here for you. Look at this. Millions of videos that you can learn from. Okay, this is my office and studio just over the road. Ton of stuff in here, guys. A ton of freaking value. If you use our broker gives you a deal where you only pay £97 a month. If you want to use your own broker, that's perfectly fine. Then you would pay £147 a month. If you look at the guys' trading results, we charge them £147 or £97 per month. Look at the fucking results the guys are getting. 3,282, 1,698, 428, a couple of hundred. Lee, 800. Jevons, 331. That was one I took. That was the gold. That was a gold scalp that I took, actually. Alex, 1,350. Do you think if we're giving you these type of results, do you think you're going to give a shit about paying us 97 quid a month or 147 quid a month? Absolutely not. Alex has been with us for 4 years now. He can absolutely trade on his own. Anthony can trade on his own. And the guys still continue to stay in the group just because it's a fucking great group. We have a great laugh. All the lads are brilliant. And we all make money together. It's a community where we all enjoy making money together and helping each other. Okay? So, I'm Ryan Mac. Thank you for watching. Much love. Be safe. Don't overtrade. Don't over risk. Let's have a good week. Take care.